this one goes back a little bit in time. One of the handy things about doing this is that you not only get to travel around the world in your head, but you can also travel through time. And it does make it a little bit odd when you're spending time in like the 1600s or 900 AD and then you go to work the next day. It's a little bit odd. Adsila looked across the river at the ugly wooden fort that had been built by the strange Dutch people who decided, without permission, to settle on Mohawk land. She did not like what she saw of them. They could not speak any of the Iroquois languages and didn't seem to want to learn. They smelled funny and wore metal and leather armor all the time, even when it was not time to fight. Adsila's grandmother, the clan mother, had tried to speak to them, but they looked past her and tried to negotiate with Adsila's father, who was chief. They would not recognize the authority of the clan mother. Stupid people. The Mohawk people numbered in the many thousands. There were barely 200 of the funny Dutch people. Even though they carried magic thunder sticks, this could not end well for them. This would be Adsila's 16th summer. She had begun training with her grandmother to assume her eventual role as clan mother. Adsila's mother, Awanita, Cherokee for fawn, was not Mohawk and could not be clan mother. Her marriage to Adsila's father, Dasignata, Mohawk for he stands people on their feet, had settled a long-standing war between the Iroquois and the Cherokee, at least for now. As an apprentice, Adsila had made the journey the previous fall to the great longhouse where the two rivers meet. She was there as the clan mothers discussed what to do about the funny Dutch people. It was decided to convene a council of the chiefs, and if the Dutch did not leave on their own or simply die in the coming winter, then war would have to be made upon them. The chiefs met. Winter came and went. The Dutch people didn't leave or die, not many of them anyway. Tasked by her grandmother, Adsila had journeyed across the river to the fort many times to meet with Brother Robert, an older man who seemed to be a healer or holy man of some kind, and try to learn their language. He seemed to be the only one of the Dutch willing to learn any of the languages of the country they found themselves in. Progress had been slow, but Adsila's training helped her see how their words worked. After the events of yesterday, she was afraid that her words would have no effect anymore. A Dutch farmer had come upon a deer that had been downed by the arrows of two young Mohawk braves. The farmer decided he wanted the deer for his family, and he shot his thunderstick, killing one of the braves. As Adsila looked across the river today, she knew that the tribes were gathering. By tomorrow there would be war. Her people were very good at making war. She did not like the funny Dutch people very much, but it would be sad to see them all die. The early morning mist of the following day did little to hide the 500 braves who had amassed in the field in front of the Dutch fort. Expecting trouble, the Dutch closed all the gates and had gotten all of their people inside the fort. The Mohawk braves gathered just outside of arrow range. One brave came forward, let out a cry, and shot an arrow that landed just in front of the main gate of the fort. Thundersticks shoot farther than arrows. From inside the fort, a shot rang out, and the brave dropped to the ground dead. Wave after wave of braves charged the fort. The thundersticks cut them down like corn in the field. Finally, Adsila's father had them cut down several trees and carry them to the fort. 50 braves would carry the tree. The 30 of them who survived would lift the tree against the wall of the fort and climb the tree. 10 or 15 braves would breach the wall each time. The Dutch were finally beginning to suffer under the onslaught. This went on for the length of a day. At the end of the day, 300 Mohawks had perished, 38 Dutch settlers had died. The next day, 1,000 braves stood in the field. Adsila and her grandmother walked with their hands up to the gate. Adsila shouted in Dutch, "Will you speak with our clan mother?" After a long pause, the gate opened just enough to let 3 men out. They were led by Baron Brat, the leader of the Dutch colony. With him was Brother Robert and Baron's son Derek. Adsila translated for her grandmother, "We are very skilled at making war. It appears you are very skilled at making war as well. We have found over many lifetimes that war does not put food in our bellies or help us survive the winter." Brother Robert translated for Baron, "What do you propose?" "It seems," said the clan mother, "that our families should be joined." "Are you proposing a marriage?" She turned to Derek. "Are you the son of this man?" "Yes," answered Derek in Mohawk. The clan mother raised an eyebrow and smiled. "This is my granddaughter, Adsila. Her destiny was to replace me as clan mother, It appears that her destiny now is to bring peace to our people. She turned to Baron. Are we agreed? Baron turned to his son, who nodded. We are agreed. And so it came to pass that Adsila, whose name means blossom, married Derek, the eldest son of the Brat family. Although her strong-willed personality was a constant source of consternation in her new family, her 5 children rose well in their society. For 30 years, peace existed between the Dutch settlement and the Iroquois nation. Much of this was forgotten after the French invaded in 1690 and routed the much peaceful settlement in the Schenectady Massacre. Adsila and Derek's grandchildren built a toll bridge across the river, later named the Mohawk, and became quite prosperous. They managed to produce many generations of outspoken women, one of whom gave birth to the woman who gave birth to a certain writer. That's my grandma's.